So thank you for joining us at the legendary Patchwerk Recording Studios. This is, well, first off, I'm your host, Sammy, for those that don't know me. I see a lot of familiar faces. I'm happy to see that you joined me again. This is our very first weekend workshop of 2017. Yeah, get excited. Yeah, right? So I'm super excited to see, like I said, a lot of familiar faces in the audience. I can tell you now that the next workshop will be February 11th. It's going to be on branding and marketing, so write that down, okay? February 11th, mark that in your calendars. The workshop is just one of the numerous programs that we offer here. The marketing team has been working extremely hard to put together a year of just programming, okay? So any of you want to get your music reviewed by us, submit your single or recommend someone you know that has a fire single to this program, Cookies and Lemonade. Anybody heard of that? Awesome. Y'all been following what we're doing. We're doing a lot here. So shout out to Donna, Fernando, and Andre. They're the ones that are hosting this program every Monday at 3 p.m. and Thursday at 8. All right? So that's going to be on Periscope and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Something else you might want to write down, Patchwerk Studio ATL, for all exclusive content. Okay? Also, we have another program called Artwork, which is a show that discusses the visual elements surrounding musical artists from their fashion to their social media look. That's important. That's also what we'll be talking about in terms of branding yourself at the next workshop. So hit up Mandy, who you probably saw when you first walked in. She's right at the front desk. She's the host of that program. And are there any MCs in the building? You can raise your hand. Cool. Awesome. A lot of you. Are there any producers in the building? A lot of you. Awesome. So this is something that would definitely interest you. Have any of you actually been entered in the Tight 32 contest? By show of hands. Awesome. Great. Awesome. So they just wrapped up, or you guys just wrapped up season 1, and it was a huge success. We even got some feedback from a major publication, Complex, this month, which is awesome. So shout out to y'all for being a part of that. There are just a lot of great opportunities if you have dope bars and dope beats. So if you're looking for an opportunity to be heard, make sure you enter. The deadline for producers is actually this afternoon, and we have a few open slots left for some MCs. So be sure to talk to someone on the marketing team about that. Finally, something I'm extremely excited for, the return of the I Do Music Showcase is coming. Yes, where it all started, February 2nd, Thursday at Apache Cafe. Y'all excited about that? It's a showcase. Y'all can go out there and perform. You got a chance to perform somewhere. This is amazing. So we'll have an open mic session, a one-on-one conversation with a special guest that'll be named this week, some really cool giveaways, and of course, spotlight performances by hopefully some of you. The requirements to perform, though, your single must be mixed, mastered, and available for digital distribution. We know what that is, right? It got to be on iTunes, something like we need it on all these platforms so people can actually buy it. Also, it must be performed over a show track. All right, so no Mariah Carey, no lip syncing. Seriously, it's not, we want you to actually give a performance. So I'm excited for that. Teamwork, raise your hands. All the people in the Patchwerk market, a lot of them are actually in the studio. Look, Courtney's right there. So if you want to get more information about any of these programs, or you're interested in signing up, please see Courtney and the rest of the marketing team here after the workshop. All right? All right. So now, today, we have someone who does not play games when it comes to her business, handling her business and her clients, all right? Again, the title of this workshop is The Art of Management. As you know, everyone doesn't quite understand what it takes to handle or manage someone else's affairs, right? It's difficult. So we're gonna learn how a manager propels their client to the new level of success. What are the do's and don'ts of management? And during today's workshop, we will tackle a few of those questions, and you can ask your own as well. Of course, we'll open the floor for you guys. So if you wanna hear some insightful info, please share with your network. If you hear anything, use our hashtag PWR Workshop and I Do Music ATL to find one another. And we'll actually reward someone in attendance. Y'all, listen. Reward. This is good. It's free. You'll get free entry to next month's I Do Music Network and Showcase by simply using the hashtag on Twitter or Instagram. So we'll randomly select one person and contact for entry on February 2nd for that showcase. So check your DMs today. Got it? Yes. It's PWR Workshop and I Do Music ATL. You'll get free entry. That's right. One person will be awarded that. But without further ado, let's get into it. Our guest this morning represents some of the biggest stars in the entertainment realm today. Along with her team, the Diop Agency, they make moves for clients such as the Wobsters, aka Gucci, Keisha Kayor, Pee Wee Longway, Rosa Acosta, and many, many more. Representing models and musicians, she makes sure everyone is working. So I want to bring out Amina Diop, everybody. Give her a round of applause. How you doing this morning, aside from the rain?
I'm wet. I'm soggy.
Oh,
I'm
man.
doing great, though.
We got to dry you off. We gotta dry you off.
All right.
All right, so this is Amina Diop, as I said, and she has her agency of people she works with here with her this morning. First off, I just want to start off by asking you what exactly you consider your role, your title in the industry today.
I call myself artist whisperer. I'm an artist whisperer. We do management, we do marketing, we do event production sometimes, casting, stuff like that.
The mic, yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's a small room. I didn't think I need to.
We are production here. We got the lights going.
Right. Kurt is doing a lot. Nah, you guys are doing the most. Good job. Got a big.
We have to do the most. We have to. But no. So you were telling us about your role, or what you consider yourself, an artist whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Artist whisperer. Like you try to keep artists focused, and a lot of times it's not kind of, I'm not going to say like it's babysitting, but it's definitely like being more of a friend, a confidant, and then knowing your business at the same time.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said like an artist whisperer. You try to like get them to do what they're supposed to do anyway.
That's amazing. So you're, in other words, this title is obviously a manager. This is
Right.
You're managing someone's affairs. And how did you realize that is what you wanted to do, or how did you get your start in this realm of the industry?
Strictly by accident. I had a friend who asked me to work with a girl. They said, oh, she's kind of rough around the edges, but she needs some help, and this and that. She's in South Carolina, and it ended up being Buffy the Body. So
Gotcha.
That was my first major client. And so I worked with her for about 7 years until she acquiesced and went on to something else. So.
Gotcha. And do you think that was your first big move for your career, was working with Buffy the Body?
Yeah, I want to say that because at that time, it's like So Seductive was out, 50 was the biggest thing, and Tony Ayo and all of that. And she did that video, and it kind of like changed the game in the video space, because remember, they weren't into like dark-skinned girls. There was no like little 24-inch waist and 45-inch hips. They were like, what? Where did this lady come from? What the hell? Is she for real? They were like looking at her like she was a reindeer. I was like, she sort of looked like a reindeer. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, the first year she probably made $2 million, and that was unheard of for a quote-unquote video girl.
Right.
So we worked hard. It was just us.
Absolutely.
Just me and her. So.
What were some game changers within that one moment that kind of, obviously the video.
Well, it wasn't so much of the video. It spoke to, after Buffy, it became cool to be like a dancer. You know how like it used to always be taboo? You ask a girl like, what do you do? And you're like, I work in a club.
Right.
Like, what kind of club? What do you do? Like, are you a bartender? Are you this or you that? And she made it known, like, look, I'm a dancer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from the South, and I talk like this. And, for me, I'm a New Yorker, so it was like unheard of. Besides, all we knew about the South was like, we coming down a Freaknik. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Aside from that, like, you really didn't know. And Buffy, I know for a fact, changed the game, period, as far as models go in the industry. Now everybody has a 24-inch waist and a big old booty. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the look.
Yeah, they made the butt shop man rich. He is definitely in the game. So yeah.
That's cool. So what would you say your responsibilities are as a manager? What are some of the primary things that you're responsible for doing? I know that's so broad, but
well, a manager is just like what if you work a 9 to 5, what your manager does. You know what I'm saying? They may be responsible for your attendance. They may be responsible for your productivity. I mean, it's not much different. The music industry, again, what a lot of people stray away from is it's still a business. So what your manager does at McDonald's is the same thing I do. It's a different field. You know what I mean? So I'm responsible for their productivity. I'm responsible for them being where they need to be, when they need to be, itineraries, and then just the business aspect of it. Managing what they do inside of their business.
Right, which brings me to my next question. In terms of handling the business, I know there are a lot of other people involved. Like you have your own team of people that help you with your Diop agency, correct?
Right.
So with an artist, though, there are a number of, like, you might have the publicist, you might have, I don't know, the people who handle the content nowadays. You have like digital content. Are you, as the manager, are you handling or overseeing those involved in the team as well?
Yeah. A good team for an artist, period, is comprised of a bunch of different people. So it's not just like a one-time thing. And here, it's not a one-person job, period.
Right.
Like a management is a team of people. And I would even include your marketing, your VP of marketing at your label,
Right.
Your publicist, your agent, because an agent and a manager are two very different things, which a lot of people don't understand.
Could you tell us the difference between
an
an
agent gets you jobs.
Gotcha.
Okay, a good manager, yes, can get you jobs as well because they're connected, but that's not the role of a manager. So a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, I'm trying to be in the industry and I want to book shows and I want to blah, 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 so I need a manager. No, you need an agent because
Right.
that's what agents do. So like when you talk about like William Morris or CAA or ICM and all of those are agencies.
Gotcha.
So that's what agents do. They're commercial agents, they're music agents, they're literary agents, because people that write books have agents too.
Right.
So I think that's something that people don't realize. And then, so you have your marketing person, you have your agent, you have your manager, you have, your web guy. Videographer is really important now with the social networking and whatnot. You have to stay visible. You have to have content. So there are a bunch of people that maybe your assistant or whatever you may have.
Gotcha. So also people often speak about artist development in terms of what they're required to do as a manager. Could you tell us what it means to develop an artist? Is more so.
Well, artist development used to be done by labels. And that has been not the case maybe since the 80s or 90s. They don't do that anymore. Now labels are generally looking for the finished package. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you notice now people are independent until they have a hot song, and now the labels are looking for them, kind of. You know what I mean? Like they're no longer interested in developing an artist to get you to that point where you can find the hot song. It's like if you don't already have something, then they're not interested, just because it takes a lot of money to develop an artist.
Right. So, well, in that same token, as a manager, are you looking for someone who's the finished product? Are you looking to work and develop with an artist, or what are you looking for as a manager?
It just depends. With me personally, if I feel like someone is worth that, you know what I'm saying, then I will do it.
Invest
but
in
generally, I don't look for artists anyway. Like every artist that I've worked with has come to me, and it's gone from there. But generally, I don't look for artists at all.
Gotcha.
But there have been people. I'm working with a couple of new artists now that I am helping develop, but that's only because they're like superstars. Like I can see that, and a lot of times people think they're superstars, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your sound is like someone else's sound, then I personally can't work with you, because I'm like one of those people where I'd rather you be like super weird rather than like somebody else. Like if you sound like Future, if you sound like Thug, if you sound like Thug's early stuff kind of sounded like Wayne, you know what I mean? And the masses didn't accept him until he sounded like Thug.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it is, but now once you introduce that lane, now everybody sounds like you. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather be in that position rather than me sounding like everyone else. You know
I agree.
So,
I agree. So when do you think an artist should even consider taking up management?
Way far down in the game. I don't feel like, because think about it, in management, you have to pay your manager between 10 and 20%, right?
Okay.
Why would you want to start that when you don't really have, a lot of artists when they start, it's kind of half and half at this point, but a lot of times you're not in the financial position to pay somebody 20% or 10% of what is the little money that you're making. Because initially, let's say you're going out on the road, you're making $500 a show or $1,000 a show. Bust that down, you know what I mean? You need them little extra dollars, especially
Exactly.
if you're having to travel to the venue yourself. Like, let's say you get a gig somehow, your uncle owned a club in North Carolina, right? So you got to get down to Charlotte, you know what I mean? And then you got to stay in a room, and he's giving you $500. I can't give you $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I would think if I was an artist. But maybe I'm stingy. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't do that soon in the game.
Yeah.
I would more like take my friends, go down there and like grind it out. And so that's what I would tell anybody else who asks.
That's real. So you spoke about the percentage that you would take for as the manager. Is that like a standard between 10 and 20?
Yeah, some people even do more than that, depending if how much they're putting into it. Like, I've seen cases where the artist lives with the manager, you know what I'm saying, or have other things, and I've seen percentages up to 30%, 33% at times, you know, and that's because the manager is taking on more than just a managerial responsibility.
So is it a myth that, because I mean, we already covered that there's a booking agent usually you would have as an artist, someone who's booking your shows versus, but a lot of times I think it's a common misconception that the manager is going to get what the manager books, essentially, like for the artist. So say, for instance, or even artists may feel this way, like, I reached out to this manager and now Amina's getting me shows. So yeah, she's taking a percentage of my earnings. Like, that's where the money comes in for the manager. Is that a common? No?
The management gets whatever their percentage is that's agreed upon on everything, not just on show bookings. You know what I'm saying? Like, on anything it is that you get. If you get a check from Sound Exchange, if you get a label deal, everything, just any and everything that you could think of, features, everything. It's standard across the board. Now, when you become a bigger artist, of course, there's exceptions that are being made, you know, here and there. Even with agents, like an agency fee is a standard 10%. But with a bigger artist, like if you're booking Rihanna, you know, and she's making $3 million, they might be like, okay, I'll take 2%. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you want to be able to say that you have Rihanna under your roster.
Exactly.
You know, so once you get to that level, if you get to that level, which is rare anyway, but, you know, then there are exceptions that are made. But generally, that's what it is.
That's what it is. So could you name some of the people that you've worked with? And I mean, we know, I named earlier Gucci.
No, yeah, those are people that I currently work with now. But I mean, just being in the industry, I work with everybody, you know, in the industry. I can't think of people that I haven't worked with that are now current in the urban marketplace. So it would be like me naming, and I don't name drop.
Okay. I respect that. I totally respect that. Well, I think people will be interested to know, because you are from New York, did you form a relationship with Gucci here in Atlanta? Like, what was your transition to Atlanta?
Yeah, my mom relocated here years ago, and so when I came here, I went to college here.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to AIU in Georgia State.
Nice.
So I met Gucci I did videos at one point in time, not me physically doing a video. You can picture me doing a video, but I casted videos at a certain point, and I worked with Jacob York. Okay. And Jacob was managing Gucci at the time. Oh, that's when he was with Big Cat and Jacob. So
nice.
And that's how I met him.
Nice. And we talked a little bit about handling the business. I think that, I mean, even today we can see that Gucci has like definitely monetized on different levels after getting out of jail, like being released from jail. It was just like Apple Music, advertisements, just a lot of different things in terms of how technology has changed. Are those some of the moves that you made in terms of connecting with Apple Music or streaming platforms, handling the business in that sense? Because before, you know, it was like very mixtape heavy. Not to say you weren't making money off of shows and things like that, but it's just a different day in music. What sorts of things are you doing on the business end to get him more visible? I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question.
Well, with Gucci in particular, Gucci has a whole team, so it's not just me that is on his team. With Gucci, I wouldn't say that I more so manage him, because Gucci manages himself. Okay, but he has a team of people around him that help him, you know, do all of the things that he wants to do because, again, he's just one person.
Right.
So there's a team around him, which is a very small team, yes, but there's probably like 4 or 5 of us that are around him, including himself. And so, like, when he dreams something up, then we have conference calls and conversations on, like, okay, well, how do we maneuver in order to make what he wants a realization then?
Nice. Well, are there any things in particular that you are doing in terms of like any new
Well, I know you were asking me about streaming and that kind of stuff. Well,
and like just I mean, things have just changed tremendously, I'm sure, and you've seen it change throughout the years. What are you doing as a manager today in terms of connecting your artists with like modern day technology and streaming platforms?
Well, streaming platforms are like Pandora or like the Apple Music, the titles and Spotify's and all of that. Really what you have to do is just get them the music, you know what I mean? And, you come up with creative deals or creative situations that make them want to do something with you exclusively or something special for you,
right,
for your artist. So that's kind of a lot of things. Like Gucci has a great marketing team, and we often have like conversations and come up with cool ideas that make it interesting for his fans to do. Like he does a lot of, jump on Twitter and talk to me right now, if you know 3 or 4 of my songs off of, you know what I mean? So
right.
it's more, with Gucci, I think Gucci's become way more interactive.
Right.
And that is one of the things, because like fans right now want to interact with you. They want to see you. They want to know what you're doing. That's why Snapchat is so prevalent and all these things, because they want to know what you're doing right now. Exactly. And that's why Instagram started the Instagram Live, and Facebook now has a Facebook Live, because it's just like, as a people, we've become very voyeuristic, ever since the explosion of reality shows. It's kind of, even though they're not really reality, but the fake reality shows. But it's like people want to know what you're doing. Like, what do you do on your time off? Like, what are you eating? Oh, you ride bikes now? Oh, you do this? Or you know what I mean? Like, so I think that because people now are so interactive with what other people are doing, that's something that we are very much into as well.
Yeah, people do love to know what you're doing.
Yeah, because I think before, a lot of people were more of an, they were like, you wanted to know what they were doing. They're like a secret. You know what I'm saying? Now you know what Drake does on his time off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you know that French Montana likes to take private planes to weird islands. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can watch them just be themselves, and I think people are obsessed with that.
So you're kind of the you're essentially in the background, but I'm sure like in this very moment we want to know things about you as a person and how you got into where you are. How do you think it is to manage your personal life while trying to manage someone else's affairs?
You become obsessed with making sure that everybody else is straight. So like sometimes you always need to have a person that's like, well, you need to, go to the doctor, or you need to do these things. So I try to, I have a great assistant team. I have a team of like 3 assistants that are like super dope, and they kind of manage what it is that I'm doing, That's like, great. Oh, you have a conference call with Gia's school. You remember it's Gia's birthday. I'm like, damn, that's the 19th. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So they keep me kind of grounded.
And a question that I really am interested in, because you're a woman and you're a woman in the industry, there are, I'm sure, plenty of adversities that you may have faced or may not have been, because you seem to be a very strong person. Have you faced any challenges just being a woman in the industry, even trying to connect or talk to people when handling business? Any adversity you may have faced over the years?
Yeah, sure. But I think that I would say that I'm not going to say that it would be an excuse, but if you're playing an all-boys game and the music industry is really just an all-boys game, I mean, you have to have strong boys around you. You know what I'm saying? And I have really strong boys around me. So can't really say that I've faced a lot of adversity being a woman in the industry, because like I said, the boys that I've had around me, like I've had Doug, I've had Gooch, I have Longway. I mean, as far as just my clients, and they're kind of no nonsense kind of people. So, it was
never an issue.
It's not been an issue so much. And even the men that I have around me that are friends of mine, like Todd Moskowitz and Adam Lublin and my attorney John Ingram and stuff like that, they're they're strong. Oh, and Snake, Terrence, like so they're strong guys. So I've never really had an issue. So, but generally, if I feel like there's a door that I can't get into, being that I'm a woman, I have like great teammates that I can pass the ball to and be like, oh, Snake, come, you know what I mean? Go do that.
Right.
And you have to like recognize that that's not just in the industry, that's in life.
It's strategy.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you go to Dubai, for instance, you know what I'm saying? There, if it's me and a man, they're gonna direct their attention and speak to the man directly in the face and da-da-da, like I'm not there.
Yeah.
But you have to respect that because it's a Muslim country and that's what they're doing over there. So it's not like I can go in there and be like, honey, I'm the boss, and because then it's not advantageous to what I'm trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
So sometimes you kind of just have to just
fall
step back.
Yeah. It's like that in life. You have to be humble in a certain regard. Like you can't go to someone else's playing field and tell them how to play.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So yes, being a woman has its different things, but I'm a woman and I'm black for real, black. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's life.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So there's only so many things that you can do to change reality.
I feel it. I totally understand. So you're not only at this point managing artists, but you have your own business. And here at Patchwerk, we focus a lot on getting the client to understand that you got to handle the business. That's why I keep kind of attacking that. How is it in terms of, obviously scheduling for or managing the affairs of the artist, but also your Diop agency? There's certain things on the day-to-day that you have to handle in terms of your personal stuff, plus the clientele. I'm sure that can be a bit overwhelming.
I don't know if I'm going to say overwhelming. It's a challenge, but anything worth having is a challenge.
So what
worth doing.
Aside from the assistants that are on your team, is there anyone else that's handling things within the agency?
Yeah, everybody handles a client.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's like I oversee everything, and I do interact with all my clients personally, but like Aisha will do stuff with Zanique, or Ant will do stuff with Longway, or
Gotcha.
Zanique or Mickey or whatever what have you. There are certain clients that always want your attention, but you slowly try to warm them up to people on your team so that they can know, like, okay, well, if Amina's busy, then let me get Nia. Like Nia does a lot of stuff with Keisha or the girls, and they slowly but surely get acclimated to other people because these people are so nasty, honey. Keisha be like, what is why is she calling my phone, honey? You know what I mean? So, but after a while, like they get used to it and they get warmed up to the idea that it takes a village.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To work with y'all. Y'all got all kind of shit that y'all want to do. Like, listen, I want to call you in the middle of the night. What if I make dolls with ice cream cones on the face? I'd be like, Gooch, please, it is a middle. What if? You know what I'm saying? So like, Thug was infamous for that. He'll be like, so what I want to do is I'm going to make jogging pants. But they're going to be like jeans, but they're going to be like jogging pants, but they're going to be short and they're going to be ripped. And I'm like, excuse me, it's 4:00 in the morning. Yeah, okay, write that down. You know what I mean? So you have to have a team, basically.
I understand. That's working with the creative. It's just like ideas flowing constantly. So that makes it make more sense. So you're basically delegating a task and kind of like...
Yeah, you're involved in it, and you deal with the labels, you deal with the assistants, you deal with the artists.
You're just talking to people 24/7.
Yeah, it's talking, it's emailing, it is just paying attention to detail.
Right.
It's kind of like thinking for them before they think of it. You know.
So
what I
if
mean?
you could kind of give some skills that you feel as someone who wants to potentially be in your shoes and manage an artist, what are some things aside from being detail oriented you just mentioned that you would say you need to know?
If you want to manage an artist, I think that you need to have patience. You need to get you like a Zen book, yoga, something. Get your Zen together, or get a vice or something. Have a bottle of cognac or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not, but I am. But you just have to have a lot of patience and be well read. Like know about the industry. Like try to keep up to date with what's going on because the music industry is constantly changing. Mm-hmm. Like the rules are constantly changing because they change as they go. You know what I mean? Barriers are constantly being broken down. Always staying in the know about technology and things that are going on like in the world as a whole. Right. So you want to be able to give your client good advice on who's a good business manager to have, or, maybe if you heard an investment here and there, because they appreciate stuff like that. It makes them feel like you give a shit. And then also like, try to, make sure that they have health insurance, life insurance, shit for their kids? Do you have an investment plan? You know, those kind of things that people stray away from and don't do as black people ourselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we just generally don't do that. If they're at a certain age, you know, get your prostate checked. Do you have cancer in your family? Like, stuff like that. Like, a good manager will, like, remind you to do that. Why don't you drink some water because you drinking all this, you know, whatever. Or, you know, you smoking a lot of weed, maybe you should, you know, see about that, you know? Like, you gotta keep people, I mean, you try to keep your artists focused. Like,
Right.
try to keep them focused enough. Like, if you're seeing that they're in interviews and they're leaning, you might want to be like, sir, this shit is not right. Like, get it together. So, and don't be a dick rider, because you look for a manager and it's on both sides. If you're looking for a manager, don't look for somebody who's just like constantly giving you praise, like, oh yeah, you're great, you're this and that and the third, because you're probably fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But you need somebody always to be in your corner that'll let you know, like, you know what, you're tripping. It's sort of fucked up. You talked to your mother kind of shady the other day. I mean, but on the sidebar, not like really getting into their personal business, because you definitely have to separate management and personal.
Right.
But what people don't understand is a lot of time they intertwine.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if you want to or not,
right.
it kind of does. And then if you don't show them that you care on another level, then a lot of times here goes manager B that's lurking and lurks, you know, waiting for you to fuck up.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. You gave a lot of advice, a lot of key points, a lot of knowledge that I'm taking away from this personally. Also, I asked you what you look for. You said you don't really look, but what you would look for in an artist. But what skills do you think an artist should possess today, like in terms of being successful, or even a producer or anyone that's exploring this entertainment realm?
I want to say to know your craft. Like, if you're a producer, it would be dope if you could read music or play the piano, you know what I'm saying? Or play the guitar, or do something to actually become a musical producer. That's just in my eyes. Like, I like producers that can play music,
right?
You know what I mean? On their own, that can create an actual melody. You know, I think that's dope. It's not, because there's a bunch of dope producers that I know that can't do that.
Right.
But it's nice if they can. If you're an artist, the same thing. I love artists that are actually musicians. If not, then I'll take an artist that can write music. I'll even settle for that. You know what I mean? If you actually create your own pieces, it's fine if you get bits and pieces from other people, or if, you know, you get references and you build off of those references, but it's dope to call yourself an artist when you actually are creating art. You know what I mean? So that's dope. Because some of the people that you guys like the most don't write their own music, regardless of how much you think that they do, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? And how good they rap this shit, they ain't write it. You know what I'm saying? But it is. Yeah. They wrote this like, what? And you're like, yeah, this nigga, he's the top 5. Yeah, his ghostwriter top 5. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not even knocking it because it's making them money, but I'm just saying, like, it's great if you can do it yourself.
Awesome. So I think that's all I really had, but I know you all have a bunch of questions out there, so Courtney's actually going to pass the mic around. Do you guys have questions? Y'all start looking at me like, no, I'm actually good.
How you doing? I'm Gage, by the way.
Hey, Gage.
Earlier you talked about if you would manage someone that had real potential, if you've seen superstar qualities in them, what are those qualities?
Like I said, humility. Like, I like humble people. The music, you know, like just the content. Sometimes it's the look. I'm not really hung up on looks because I can make you look like anything, you know? And drive, like a hustle. You know what I mean? Like, you can see somebody's hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like, oh, well, Amina, and I tried to call you and answer, but guess what? I've had people that are email me so much or hit me so much that I gotta be like, let me stop and really listen to dude. You know what I mean? Because he's going super duper hard. Show me what you're willing to do by doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that gets not just my attention, but anybody's attention. Like, you'll do it so much. Like, I think it was, I don't know if it was Papoose, but it was somebody. I think it was Papoose, but K-Slay was like, this dude is outside the radio station every day. Like, every day. So one day, they were like, I think Joe one of them, Big Fat Joe or someone was up there, and they were like, let this dude up, because he's out here every day. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, every day, just like Mike Will. Mike Will used to be here, right, Oz? Mike Will used to be here every day at Patchwerk until somebody was like, Gooch was like, you know what? Just go on and let him make a beat. You know what I'm saying? So he said, Gucci made, Mike Will made it, Gucci Slater, he made that up because at a certain time he was in here so much, people were like, let him get a beat, pull a beat up, and and look at him now. He's a millionaire and he has labels and he has his own artists. Mm-hmm.
My question is, do you think it's necessary, would you recommend like a different team for like each region in the nation, like have like a team that handles like your East Coast business once you become an artist that's everywhere? Would you recommend something like that, or would you stick to one team and just have you guys just go hard in every region?
I wouldn't say every region, but I might say different countries maybe. Yeah, but like if it's all right, so here's the thing. I would say that if it was like a promotional team, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have a promo team on the East Coast, you got a promo team on the West Coast, then I would say yes. I would not say to have a different team altogether, like a different manager here, a different manager there, no. Because somebody gonna quit. Somebody gonna get upset. Can't do that. Plus, who wants to pay that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not advantageous for you to do that. But as far as promo, yes. It would be great to have a promotional team on both sides. And even a publicist on both sides. Mm-hmm.
Is it on? Okay.
Yeah. Mic
How
check.
you doing? Yeah, mic check. How you
what's up?
doing, Miss Diop?
Hey.
Hey, okay. I heard you mention something about ghostwriting.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, like, what would be the steps? Like, cause me, well, I'm an artist, so if I want to try to like ghostwrite to get on, you know what I mean? So like, what would be like some good steps to take that approach to like ghostwriting?
Yeah, that's dope. You need to find an artist that just needs music, and you can send them references. Like a lot of people take references. Like you can send Puff references, but everyone knows that Puff doesn't write his stuff, and he doesn't care that anybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you just have to identify an artist that you would like to work with and try to send them stuff, or you can get with a publisher or a songwriting guild, and they'll help you do that kind of stuff, because publishers do that. That's one good thing, to have a publisher. If you get a publishing deal, then your publisher will send your stuff to different people in order to get that out.
How you doing? My name is Dooney.
What's up, Dooney?
How you doing? I produce. I'm from Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard you work with producers. So,
I do.
do you know like the many ways they could get paid? I know it's not just one. And I actually got something on. I got a question because I got something on the internet, and it's confusing. I'm trying to learn how I could get, you know what I'm saying, not lose any money or have money just sitting there. I know about the code you get right when you post it.
Mm-hmm.
Say somebody buy it and they rap on a beat. Like, how do they detect if they use it to get paid?
Did you are you registering your music?
Yes, it's registered.
Who you with?
BMI.
All right, so but you don't have a publishing deal.
No.
Okay, so if you are registered with BMI and you already and you're saying that if someone uses your beat, then you can contact them and let them know, who's done what, and if you've tracked it and you have numbers on it or whatever, what have you, then you'll still get paid.
It'll just come back.
No, it won't come. You need to follow up on it, because if you don't,
No, I'm saying, how do I know if I put it on? I put it through CD Baby, and it's through a whole bunch of different stores.
you said, and has someone purchased it and actually see it? You don't get paid. Like if someone raps on it and they're not selling it, then you're not gonna get paid for it. You get what I'm saying? Like unless they put it out commercially, then you're not gonna get paid from it. So they'd have to actually put it on an album or put it on iTunes at least. And then if that's the case, then you would contact iTunes or whatever and let them know, like, this is your beat, whatever, what have you, and then it would come back 50%, because producers get 50% of the song.
So basically, it's not a good route to put beats out for sale. Like, if I want to drop a tape, and
I mean, you can, but it has to be, you have to use one of the sites where you can track it. Like if they show that it's been purchased.
I know that.
So if you see that it's been purchased, then you have to follow through with that. Like, okay, so this one purchased it. All right, so what are we doing with it? You get what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. It's just like you have to follow up on it. In production, you have to follow up on your music, because a lot of times, like, producers will send the same beat to different artists. One artist may put it on his album, but another one might not. You know what I'm saying? One might leak it. So then here comes the artist like, hold on, you gave dude the same thing that I did and now I rapped on, you get what I mean? So it's the same thing on both sides. So with producers, yeah, you have to follow your money. You definitely have to do that. And that's why it's good to have a publishing company, at least even if it's a small one, because that's what they do. They track it for you.
How do I get that?
A publishing company? If you stay around, and I'll give you some insight on that.
Okay.
Hi, Mina.
Hey, Tia.
So my question is more or less, I think it's a little bit more personal or specific to our situation.
Sure.
My son is, he's been grinding for some time now. I want to know, and you kind of touched on this already, it's not wise to go seeking management until you have some stuff to manage like that. So as his mother, I want to know, is it a good idea that I kind of assume that role, knowing that I'm not really familiar with the industry? I don't want to be a hindrance to him because of my lack of knowledge, but at the same time, he doesn't have the money to spend on, professional management. What are some resources like workshops such as this, or other things that I should be doing as a more business supportive role and not just mommy?
Well, you are in a different position because we've been friends for years. So you can come to the house and get a book and run everything by me. So that's an easy thing for you. But generally, momagers are great. You know what I'm saying? Because generally you can trust your mom, more than anybody else. And because I would say a lot of times they're not good, but a lot of times they are good. With you in particular, it would be great for you to manage Sean or, whatever, because you're smart and you're already in business. You get what I'm saying? So because of that, you can already, you know what I mean? You can already kind of handle those kind of things. It's a love for the music and it's a love for your client. You know what I'm saying? That it makes a good manager, because there's a bunch of people that are managers don't know what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? But because they're so loyal to the person, that it makes it work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, you mentioned school. Is school something you feel is necessary, mandatory on any level, or just get out there and get the information?
Nah. You just, it's a grind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a hustle. So no, that's not the case. Like, if you see any showcases that are going on, that's fine, and this, that, and third. But really, with a new artist, what y'all really have to understand is y'all need to have a lot of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a lot. So a lot of times, they're not even ready to go and do nothing yet unless you have a lot of music. I'm talking about a lot of music. These people have, like, if he's rapping, right?
Producing, rapping, he writes, he does all
Okay,
that.
so
he knows how to compose music, he reads music, he's
so let's say if you're a rapper. If you're a rapper, I would say you're not even ready to go to a label or to go anywhere unless you have at least 100 songs. That's what I'm gonna say. Huh? I would say like at least 100 songs. Like, because you're competing with people like Uzi and Yachty and Thugger and Future and these things. And anybody that's here that works at Patchwerk knows these dudes, what are their output? Like, they come here and they doing 3-4 songs a night.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Gucci and Future get in the studio, they have an EP by the end of the 2 days. You know what I'm saying? They have 8 songs. You know what I'm saying? They're locking in and that's it. So can you imagine how many songs that these dudes have? What kind of catalog that they have? So you're really not even ready to go to the next step until you get your content up. Okay. Because you're going to think like, oh, I got 10 hot songs. But guess what? When I hear them, I'm like, 5 of these are garbage. 2 of these are aight. You know what I'm saying? So now what are you left with? And they're like, damn, I got 3 songs. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got 100 songs, it's just the law of numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you get 100 songs, you get what I'm saying? And someone only like 50, you in the game now, because you're cutting your catalog down. But you have to have a lot of music, because everyone's not gonna like everything that you do, even though you know that this song is the one. But you're gonna go and Leroy's gonna look at you and be like, I'm not really feeling this. This is like kind of, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say. Just be in the ground.
Too, like,
Yeah, you have to develop.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Any other questions?
I'm Chaos.
Hey.
From an artist perspective, like split sheets and how does that whole thing work? Like, if I rap, I'm more of a composer, right? Mm-hmm. And the producer is what? The guy who makes the beat is not the same as a producer in a traditional sense. Like, a Timbaland. Like Timbaland might not make that beat,
Right.
but Timbaland produces the song.
Yeah, he puts a little sprinkles on it, and because he's Timbaland, he gets to
Right.
say that he's the producer.
Right. So from the ground level, if it's me, him, and a beat maker, how do we do that split sheet thing? When should we do that from the ground level? When should we?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you can do it from the jump, but when it comes down to it, and attorneys are involved and stuff like that, they'll tell you what the splits are. If it's half and half off top, so it's like 50%. So if there's 2 of y'all, then it becomes 25 and 25 on y'all side. You know what I mean? If it's 3 of y'all, then it becomes a different number. But it's not always an even number, because if he did more than you did, or if there's somebody else that y'all sort of have to, put in, it might be 20, 20, 10. You know what I'm saying? Out of that 50%. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the split sheet it's different in every different case. Now, if you're doing something like, you're on the production side, so I would just keep it there. But like if you do something with Kanye or something like that, he might be like, everybody's getting 1% or 2%, and I'm getting the rest of it because I'm Kanye. And if you fucking with it, then you are, and if you're not, then you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. Or like if you're with 808 Mafia or one of the big boys, you know what I'm saying, or Mike Will or something like that, and he puts you in on a project, he might be like, it's 40-10. And that's just it. And if you don't like it, then kick rocks. But you want to be part of the project, so you might be like, all right, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to mess with it. But it's just kind of what it is. On the production side, I just started noticing, I was like, oh, y'all, they got a racket running. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do a song with a bigger producer, he going to rape you. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's kind of, it is what it is. It's, it's like you mess with it or you don't.
Yeah.
But, try to have that conversation in advance, like with the person. Like if you're doing 3-way production splits or 4-way production splits, kind of try to see, like, bruh, like, what are we doing here? Just because when it gets to the paperwork, it can hold up a situation. Yeah. And if I'm management and y'all are holding up my situation, I'm pulling your song off the record. Because you guys need to get your business together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's best to kind of do it in advance. Now, I don't know if everybody's like me, but I just am like, listen, I'm trying to get something cleared. Yeah. Drop this song. We're going to go with somebody else that knows where they splits are at. You know what I'm saying?
Together.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate you.
A few more questions. Are we good? Okay.
I got you guys goodie bags too.
Yeah, I was gonna.
So anybody that doesn't have one, I think Aisha, are we out? No.
Oh. Well,
whoever
first off,
doesn't have one.
Yeah. So thank Amina and her team for your goodies, and let's also give a round of applause to Amina Diop for the extensive knowledge that she shared with us this morning. You did a wonderful job. I learned a lot. That's for sure. Thank you so much.
Sonically superior.